2-week notice. For the love of fucking God, reminder that you are not required to give your employer a 2-week notice. I just seen my workplace fire a single mom on the spot over refusing to work the day she had off, to go to her daughter's piano recital. I personally don't give notice to a workplace unless they are willing to give me a 2-week notice to let me know I am being terminated, which has only been one workplace in my entire life. Downvote me all you want, IDC. Getting real fucking tired of these dipshit bosses lol. The owner did 3 hours of the same work I do today, and she couldn't handle it. I work, for minimum wage, at a local liquor store. I operate the cash register and stock the shelves. It's honestly a pretty easy job, considering all the ones I've had in the past. Today, she tried calling me in 4 hours before my shift started, to which I said I couldn't make it. She told me see you at your scheduled time and that was it. We open at 10 a.m. and I got there at 11 a.m. Helped stocked, and did some bar orders. About 2 hours later she comes up to me and goes, "Are you back yet?" Literally frustrated because she hadn't gotten a chance to sit down since she got there at 10 a.m. I find this hilarious since we're always expected to be available, even during breaks, unless it's our lunch time, which the state requires us to have. This woman expects everyone to do this every day, and yet she can't even handle it herself. Face with tears of joy it cracks me up because she wants us to do more and no one is willing to do it for minimum wage. Minimum wage equals minimum effort. I created a fake profile and resumed to apply to scammy job postings, and it has been so much fun. They want to waste everyone's time? I've got time to spare. That job you're posting for a mid-level marketing coordinator paying $14 an hour? Sure, I'll apply. I'll set up an interview too. Will I show up to the interview? Well, no, but not because I don't want to, but because I don't exist. Sorry about that. What's that? You want someone to volunteer to do your logo and art for your business? You're paying in exposure? Boy, I would love to help. I'm on it right now, and 2 weeks later when you're wondering where those proofs are I said I was working on? Oh, they're almost done. I'll send them to you by Friday, I promise. You should be lucky we're offering you the job. I'm always interviewing for new jobs. My time goes to the highest bidder, but today's interview took the biscuit. Job advert competitive salary. I asked in the interview and they said minimum wage. I ask if that's negotiable as it's not competitive. They said no. Whatever, interview ends and I get on with my day. Next thing they ring me, offer me the job and I turn it down stating my qualifications and experience are above what they're willing to pay for. The HR woman snaps at me and says you should be lucky we're offering you the job. I laugh, comment on the fact in every correspondence she's written to me, she's spelt my name wrong, it's a typical British name, and ask her if I can have her job instead. She hung up. Are people really that naive? Do they really think we're lucky if they offer us it? A former employer used to do the most sadistic thing with workers' comp. So back in 2010 I worked in a factory making wire metal brushes. The work was pretty dangerous for repetitive motion injuries. More than a few people had issues with their hands from it. But I will always remember what they did to this one girl who filed for workers' compensation. Basically they can offer you light duty to still have you come in instead of giving total disability compensation. As long as they still have something that you can do with your injury. Every single day they would have this girl come in and sit in a chair by the time clock and do nothing. She was not allowed to have her phone or a book or talk to anyone. They made her sit there and stare at a wall for 8 hours. I'm guessing the idea was to torture her so much with boredom that she would be more likely to come back early, or quit I suppose. If she was turning down the work then maybe they wouldn't have to pay. I'm not sure as I'm not very well versed in that stuff. I don't know, that just always stuck with me as one of the most mean-spirited things I've ever seen an employer do. Nobody can afford to work anymore. This is the tagline we need media and employers to pick up on. Much to the amazement of bosses and bean counters, employees can do simple math and have common sense. If it costs single moms the same or more in daycare costs per day, then what they earn per day, going to work makes no sense. Spend time with your children. If it costs more in gas, car insurance, and car payment per month than what they earn in a month, having a car to commute makes no sense. If rent costs more than what workers can earn, better to live with family and help family than to be out on your own. Employers, offer what you will, but if it doesn't make sense for 80% of the population, then you're left to fight over the remaining 20% of available workforce with all the other cheapskate employers. You are not in a struggle of wills with the lower wage class, they will never do what doesn't make sense, you are only in competition with other employers as stingy as you. I was reporting my boss and wrote a statement to HR. HR then immediately forwarded my email to my boss. When HR forwarded the email, I was shocked and really upset. I thought what I said would be protected because it was basically whistleblowing. I had to attend a meeting with my boss and HR where the HR person put me on the spot to have me tell the issues I had with my boss directly to him. After the meeting, nothing was ever resolved. Since then my boss has been outright rude to me and is basically retaliating. We recently got a new HR person and I'm considering talking to her about what happened. Should I talk to the new HR or not? Wife's job has asked for a full breakdown of her small business. During COVID my wife started her own small business. It is nothing life-changing at the moment but brings in enough to supplement some income and has been trending up. She recently hit a big milestone and got her product selected to be put on shelves in a local boutique. She shared the news on Facebook and her boss reached out to her today regarding it. She didn't reach out to say congrats or anything. Instead, her boss asked for a full breakdown on her small business including goals, sales, product details, and how she divides up her time between her small business and work. She also requested to be kept in the loop on all future milestones so that she can properly assess when it will be time to let my wife go. The job is WFH and pays $15/HR. I didn't get paid. So I shut down and made demands. I work as a software developer and am usually paid once a month. I woke up on payday and found I had not been paid for 1 month of work. I asked why and was told that it's a glitch. Needless to say that as a software developer it's a glitch is not a sufficient explanation. Despite everyone on my team relying on me and the client expecting to meet with me, I left them all hanging and refused to answer their calls. I told my boss we can discuss my new salary when they deposit my entire paycheck. My boss is scrambling to make excuses to me and the clients and is unhappy, and the team is without senior leadership. So there is a lot of people wondering where I am right now, and the projects are dead in the water. My workplace is getting arsy with me because I come in on time every day. So I've started this new workplace and been here for about 6 weeks. So far all seems good. However, they get a bit weird about how on time I am. I start at 9 a.m., so I start working at 9 a.m. My lunch is 1 to 2. I'm back in the office at 1:59 p.m. and my shift ends at 5:30 p.m. so my computer is off at 5:30 p.m. Apparently they don't like this. My other colleagues are in at 8 a.m. and leave at 6 p.m. blah blah blah. I hate this culture of being made to feel like a bad employee because you'd rather only work the hours you get paid for. My current manager just pushed back my leaving date with HR without consulting me. So on April 27 I accepted a new position within my company. I signed the contract to start on May 15. I instantly let my horrible manager know, to which she said, "Oh, I didn't approve that date." I didn't do anything because I literally signed a contract for the new job and a good bit more money. Current manager just told me my new start date will be June 1. She worked with HR without consulting or including me to get them to push back my leaving date. New manager is great, but he can't fight this. She told me on a team meeting in front of all my co-workers. These 2 extra weeks are going to be the old pay rate. She literally is robbing me of money and time to learn my new role. I am so livid and can't do anything other than be nice. But I am doing the bare minimum the next 2 weeks. Remember, HR doesn't care about you at all. My manager is underprepared as I have no backup or support on this team. I am critical to the function of this team and she is penalizing me for being good. Update: talked with my current team members and a couple of them are leaving as well now. Went ahead and discussed with the HR director and my director, who are reprimanding those involved and honoring my pay. Thank you all for the wonderful advice, and the angry posts about me being a pushover gave me a laugh, so thanks to you as well. Finally got through to my parents. My parents were complaining about nobody wants to work. I asked them to name 4 people they know that are unemployed not by choice. They couldn't. I asked how many people are job hunting while employed but for better wages. They said everyone they know, including themselves and all their kids. Next question was all the businesses that are complaining of being short-staffed, would you work for them? Answer was no, because they don't pay enough. Do you get it now? It isn't that no one wants to work. No one is willing to work for less than they can survive on. I can't eat at my favorite burger place anymore. I'm at a Five Guys for lunch right now. They have a placard up front advertising their hourly wage. My burger, small fries, and a small drink costs more than their hourly wage. I can't in good conscience eat here anymore. Sorry, Five Guys. This is my last burger from you. Step up your game. Boss handed me a personal bill for company losses that was more than I make in a week. We work mandatory overtime on Saturdays for which we are paid off the books. The boss paid everyone else and left before paying me, then didn't answer texts or calls when I tried to collect payment at the end of the day. That's when I knew something fishy was going on. On Monday I decided to record our conversations just in case, legal in my state. I asked him again for payment for the overtime and he handed me an invoice for company loss he says I am personally responsible for. He went into a whole tirade about how he shouldn't have to pay for XYZ when he's already paying me to do the job. He also told me he recently charged my coworker $900. This is absolutely false, per the coworker when I let him hear the recording. A 65-year-old man with no retirement, who lives in a studio and drives a 20-year truck on its last legs, but the boss presented that lie in an almost bragging manner. Happy to illegally charge this poor older man while the boss drives a brand new truck and lives in a mansion. Not to mention his dad started the business and he just took over. So anyway, I refused to pay the bill and told him if he's not happy with my performance he can fire me. And he refused to. You can guess why. So we are at a standoff. And I can't afford to quit with no employment, and barely meeting my bills as is. What do I do? We can't afford to pay you what you're worth. I've been working for a company for 14 years. I left for a year and came back in January of 2020. They offered me $13.50/HR and I tried negotiating, but they promised, for all that's worth, to give me a raise after a year. Now, 10 months later, they hired a new guy and they're paying him $16 and he's got 3 months experience. I was told by my manager that even though we've had record sales this year, he doesn't think the store can afford to pay me more when my year rolls around. I'm afraid I won't be able to be around when they can't pay me. Accused of eating, so I quit. I worked a part-time restaurant gig 4 nights a week to top off my regular full-timer. I did dishes, bussing, cleaning, basic maintenance, simple food prep, bar stuff, dessert plating, whatever. I also worked 12 hours on many of these days and it was often most convenient to order something to go from this place and eat it at home at like midnight once my workday was done. LOL. I recently ordered a slice of cheesecake to go. I was finishing closing the kitchen and had the cheesecake out, preparing to slice it. My boss walked in and accused me of eating the cheesecake right then and there, while working, off of the pan it was baked on. It became a bit of a scene and she began backpedaling after I explained to her several times that I was very certainly was not just chunking off pieces of cheesecake to help myself to as I worked. I'm in recovery from an eating disorder and that just made the situation feel so much more shameful. And the fact that she doesn't trust me in the slightest, except to do the most disgusting jobs she needs done, for less than the pay she advertise. I finished up my shift and I quit. Feels relieving. Confident in my choice for the first time in a good while. Just posting because the situation really threw my mental health for a loop. Old eating disorder thoughts rushing in, I felt like a child and I need to remind myself it's all chill and I did the right thing for me. Smiley face. Went off on some old white dude who was needlessly rude to a young employee. I'm at my wit's end. I was at a frozen yogurt shop and the guy ahead of me rudely asks the barely teenage girl if the vanilla is ice cream or frozen yogurt. She didn't really understand the question because everything is froyo, it's a froyo shop. He gets louder saying, is it ice cream or frozen yogurt? It says ice cream. She says, I think it's frozen yogurt, that's what we sell. Then the old head says, well, why does it say ice cream? You should know this, you work here. I said, does she look like she's been here for more than a few days? It's always new people in here every week. Do you think she makes the signs here? Do you think they go through some rigorous training? People like you are the reason nobody wants to work retail. He was walking away at that point, so I just turned to the girl and apologized to her and said she didn't do anything wrong, and the person behind me chimed in and said, what is wrong with people? I'm done watching people treat others like shit no matter what side of the counter they are on.